All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening to all our wonderful viewers out there in YouTube land. My name is Mike Atkins, and I'm the TO of the Vanguard GT. And thank you for joining us here this evening for the 2019 first round pairings announcements. I have a few folks here that I'll introduce in a moment. Vanguard GT is coming up this weekend in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Probably most of the people watching are planning on attending, so I don't need to really pitch the tournament or anything. So with that, I think pretty much everybody who's watching probably has seen one of these before, but just in case you haven't, I'll give you like the quick and dirty rundown. We're going to go through the lists that everybody turned in the order that they're going to be played by table. So we're going to go through the matchups table by table. And the panel is going to kind of critique the list a little bit, tell you a little bit about what they think is likely to happen in the game. And then they're going to vote on who they think is going to win that particular matchup. And I'm going to keep track of those. And whoever gets the most correct will be dubbed the Oracle for this year. Jesse has his medallion from last year because he won last year. This year it's a medal. It'll come on a ribbon. You can wear it. So that'll be fun.
Point out, by the way, sorry, I'm cutting you off here, but
okay.
You pointed out that for those who haven't watched this, I want to acknowledge the fact that this tournament might have some of the highest rate of new players, and I think it's fantastic. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, we're gonna have 3 or maybe 4 new people this time. So I did print a best newcomer award to give out. Just whoever finishes best amongst the noobs or the people that haven't played for a couple of years that are coming back, just to help, thank them for coming out and giving it a try.
I can give them an elf army maybe.
Well, Joey has left this really nice looking Night Stalker army sitting in my garage for like 2 months since Masters, and I guess he just doesn't want it anymore because he hasn't bothered coming to pick it up. So I might just give that away as a door prize.
That's the wooden spoon this year is Joey's army.
It's Joey's Masters army. So anyway, what was the other thing to say? Oh yeah, so in case of a tie in who gets the most right, I'll be doing this kind of fantasy football style. So like whoever gets the most points out of the matchups. So if one of you calls guys that win 19 points versus somebody calls wins that are only 15 points, then the guy that accrues the most points over the matches that he calls correctly will be dubbed the Oracle. So with that, I'm gonna move on to introducing our panelists here with us this evening. I've assembled some experts in the field here. We have representatives from our neighboring regions, and then a couple folks who are tournament regulars in the Mid-Atlantic, but who won't be able to attend this year. So first, we have Mike Rossi. Mike, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, buddies. I'm Mike Rossi. I am the 4th Mike on the Unplugged podcast. I am also the Northeast? Yeah, the Northeast region rep for the Masters. And I play dwarves. And I'm not very good at the game. And there you go. That's everything you need to know.
Fantastic. Welcome, Mike. Next is Felix Castro, who is not here just yet. He let me know he would be running a little bit late. Felix is from the Midwest. He plays out of Ohio. And I know they've got a tournament coming up in about a month called War Kings GT, which when he gets on, I'll get him to give you guys some more info about that. That should be a pretty fun time. If you're looking for another tournament to go to in between Vanguard GT and Mountaineer, check that out. It's not too far away. So next, that brings me to last year's Oracle, Mr. Jesse Cornwell. Jesse, introduce yourself, please.
What's up, party people? If you know Kings of War, you know me, Mastercrafted, and I'm going all over the place. I'm kind of a big deal.
Thank you, Jesse. Welcome. It's great having you on again. It's too bad you won't be making it to Vanguard GT this year. One of these days, I'm going to figure out what I have to do to actually get you to come to my house.
Well, in all fairness, what kept you this year is Jeff Swan and Tabletop Titans are actually sponsoring my big ass to fly out there to take part. So they paid for my plane ticket, and yeah, shit, I'll do just about anything. Somebody pays for it, I'll do just about anything. And I mean anything.
Oh my.
All right, then I guess I'll have to look into comping you like a sofa to sleep on next year, then, or something like that, to get you over here. Or we'll comp your gas or something. We'll see. Anyway, and last but not least, we have what do we call you? Vice Master? What you were third, right?
Yeah, I don't get a title. I just got a fucking plaque, and I'm excited about it. So,
Mr. Mike Austin, happy birthday, Mike.
yeah, thank you.
Can we give him a plaque called King of Hurt Feelings? Like, because this guy, somebody is walking away tonight, and their feelings will be hurt. There might be a response video.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Who does that?
We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
I'm Mike Austin. Let's just stop interrupting me in my wonderful introduction. I want to point out, by the way, I love the perfect representation of the other people here. Mike Rossi, who doesn't know what region he's from. Felix, not even here. And Jesse just says,
only the best.
That's it.
Right.
We only have the best.
And I'm properly representing with a nice glass of water.
There we go.
You know, like I do.
Yeah, Mike is vaguely aware of which states are still in his region, but if he's not careful, he's going to accidentally cede some more of them away tonight. We'll see.
Every time I turn around, people take stuff. It's going to be me and Nova Scotia, and that's it.
I'm not even getting into politics of you and your willingness to give up.
It's going to be like you and Brinley and Ashley from Canada and like that. Yeah. So all right.
But don't worry, Noah will be filming.
Right. So that's our panel. Felix should be joining us soon, and we'll let him introduce himself when he gets on here. Hopefully, we won't get too far through things before he joins in. So to get started, let's talk a little bit about what you guys are going to see tonight. So we have 11 matchups this year, which is great. Last year we had 10, so we grew by 2 people. Love to see a little bit of growth. And 7 out of the 11 matchups are actually challenges, which I think is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That we're getting a lot of challenges this year. A lot of fun. People want to play each other. It's great. In terms of army breakdown, there are 3 elf armies and there's 3 undead armies. And then there's 2 abyssal dwarves, 2 trident realm, and 2 basileia, and everything else there's only one representative army there. But that's like half of the field right there, composed of those 5 armies. So there you go. That's what the Mid-Atlantic army breakdown looks like as of this month. We also have 3 historical armies that people are going to be playing: French, Mongols, and Macedonians. So that's kind of cool to see. Fucking French. Only 4 of the armies have allies, which I thought was kind of interesting. Like that seems kind of small. But 12 of the armies have formations, and 4 of the armies have 2 formations.
I love it.
which like, so clearly, whoever wrote the formations for Clash 2019 did a good job, because they're super popular now. And we didn't see a whole lot of them last year, but now they're,
right.
There you go. That's one more than half of the lists for this tournament have a formation in them, and 4 people have chosen to double down.
One formation's in there 3 times, which I think is hilarious. And actually, there's 2 formations that are taken by 2 different people, which I think is also interesting.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, a lot of the same. Yeah, there's definitely some very popular ones. And as we go through, it'll become readily apparent which ones those are. And they're not shocking. Like, they're undead have some pretty good formations this time around. So yeah, and we have a lot of undead players. So so I was watching the Lone Wolf first round pairing cast, which they of course split into 2 because they have a few more people than me. Just a couple. And somebody on one of the Facebook groups went through and like started talking about some data and analysis of like the different characteristics of the lists. And somebody said, "Hey, I wish other TOs would do this." So I was like, "Hey, I'm another TO. I can do that." So
and a nerd.
And a data nerd with way too much time on his hands.
Especially that
part. So I went through and just calculated some summary statistics for folks based on drops and unit strength. In terms of drops, the highest drop army you're going to see tonight has 20 drops, and the lowest has only 8. 8. 8. There's an 8 drop list, and we're going to see it really soon. And so that gives us an average of 12.8 drops. But somebody pointed out on the list that like averages don't really tell you the whole story. It would be nice to see something about spread, so I went ahead and calculated standard deviation as well. And I kind of agree with that. Like averages tend to hide a whole lot of meaningful detail. And my favorite example of that is the average human being has approximately one testicle and approximately one ovary. That's math.
Nice.
But kind of
Hell,
doesn't tell you anything, right?
That's
double
exactly my
the
type right there.
Right.
The average person has 1.92 arms.
Right.
Ugh. What happened?
An average person would look really weird. So the standard deviation is 2.68. And for those of you who have been out of school for a long time, like all of us, that means 68% of the lists fall between 10.2 drops and 15.5 drops. So the bulk of the lists are between 10 and 15 drops. Then going on to unit strength. The highest unit strength army has 25 unit strength. That's also the 20 drop army. And the lowest only has 9 unit strength. That is also the 8 drop army. So the highest and lowest was the same list across both. Average unit strength is clocking in at 17.9 with a standard deviation of 3.9. So a little bit bigger spread there. And that means that 68% of the lists fall between 14 and 21 unit strength. So there you go. If people are curious what mid-Atlantic lists look like right about now, you got about 12 or 13 drops. You got about 18 unit strength. That's an average list. So now that the math lesson is over, so the first round scenario will be dominate. I like figuring that out ahead of time and throwing it out there for you guys to know at this point, because if there's one thing that I dislike, it's when you watch one of these live cast videos and like the panelists won't actually take a stand on anything and say like, well, it's going to come down to the scenario. It's going to come down to the terrain, or it's going to blah, blah. I'm like, dude, pick a winner. You're supposed to be here telling people something interesting. Don't just shit it off the pot. Don't tiptoe around things and hem and haw. So, in order to do that, I figure I should go ahead and give you guys some information to work with. So there you go. I will also say that the table maps are taken from Epic Dwarf. They're Epic Dwarf table maps, so that should give you some idea of like how many pieces of terrain there will be. And
not dot deployment. What happened to dot deployment?
That's a whole other live cast about dot deployment.
Yeah,
Which reminds me,
the wave of the future.
if anybody watching this has any actual data on dot deployment, I would love to see it, because I've heard a lot of people say that dot deployment can help players mitigate bad matchups, but I haven't seen any numbers in terms of how many bad matchups you tend to see in a given tournament of a given size, and what mitigate actually means, whether it's flipping a loss to a draw or saving them 2 points or whatever. So it would be nice to know what the actual like concrete benefit is instead of just anecdotes. If anybody's got
What I
that,
saw from deployment was 3 hills in the middle every time.
Right.
I had 4 impassables on the table like 3 games in a row. I was like, mitigate that shit. Jesus Christ.
Right.
And they're all set far enough where a horde can't fit through. Awesome.
All right, let's not get onto it. Sorry, Mike.
Let's not get onto that. So we'll be doing my sort of standard. We have a set of terrain maps. Every table uses the same map every round, and there's a different map for every round. So whatever table you're playing on, you're playing on basically the same terrain layout as everybody else. The tables are just aesthetics.
That's the only way to do it.
At that point,
I fully endorse.
It's not the only way to do it. It's just a really good way to do it. And I haven't thought
of
a better one. I've thought of a better one yet. So anyway, first round scenario is going to be dominate. The terrain is going to be set up as an Epic Dwarf map, so that should tell you guys about like whether things are going to be in deployment zones and how dense they're going to be or spread out they're going to be, just to give you a general idea. And still no Felix, but that's okay. We'll proceed anyway, and he can catch up when he gets on. So that brings us to table 1, our first matchup of the night, which is Ray Wyatt versus Larry Essick. Ray is playing Undead, and Larry is playing his Mongols. Ray is currently 35th in the Mid-Atlantic, because I think he's only been to a single one-day event. And Larry is currently placed 15th because Siege of Augusta was both a Southeast and Mid-Atlantic qualifying event, and he did pretty well there. Ray was 12th last year at Vanguard GT, and this is Larry's first time visiting with us. So he doesn't have a score from last year. And now, let me just click that. Okay, cool. Now we'll go on to Ray's list.
The dream right here, baby.
Yeah, so this is our low drop, low unit strength, super duper elite
He
undead
managed
list.
to make it more elite than last year.
Than last year, I know.
That is madness.
But he's got one unit that isn't vampires. He managed to flip in the Wraith Regiment.
You sell out, Ray. You sell out.
So his list is 2 Soul Reaver infantry regiments, a Wraith Regiment, a Soul Reaver Cav Regiment with Wine of Elvenkind to give them nimble, 2 Vampire Lords, both mounted, one with Boots of the Seven Leagues, the other with Teleport and the Orcish Skull Pole, a Vampire on Undead Dragon with Blizzard, and Lady Alona, so you know what Teleport is for. And Alona's Thirstful Coven Formation, which gives those Soul Reaver infantry regiments +1 speed and fearless, so they're like movement 7 or something crazy like that. And that clocks in at 8 drops and 9 unit strength. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip over and read Larry's list now, and then you guys can let that marinate for a second and see what you think. So Larry is bringing historical Mongols, and I am playing with the rules as written. So the skirmishers will count as individuals, which also means they have no unit strength. So Larry's got a horse archer troop. He's got a mounted musician. He's got 5 Mongol Lancer regiments. He's got 3 Mongol skirmish Lancer regiments. One of them has ambushers, which I think is Pathfinder. He's got Genghis Khan, because you can't have a Mongol horde without Genghis Khan. And then he's got some mythical units helping him out here. He's got a Phoenix. He's got a General on Winged Beast with Hardy Veteran, which I think is +1 Courage.
Hardy Veteran, yeah. Brew of Courage.
Brew of Courage, yep. And a Hero on Winged Beast, bringing him in at an even 14 drops and 14 unit strength. Nice and symmetrical like that. All right, what do you think?
All right, so first off, I hope Ray's watching, because I have to apologize for last year when he snaked me with his army, and it was the most devastating snake eyes ever. He lost a Vampire mounted Soul Reaver regiment and Soul Reaver Cav regiment as a result of a snake eyes. Brutal. Here's the thing. It's dominate. Larry can run circles around and all that stuff, but the second he hits something, a countercharge kills a unit every time from every single unit in Ray's army.
Right?
Seriously. It's and then that vampire army, you look at it and you're like, oh, there's only 8 units. Yeah, but everyone will absolutely devastate you, especially if you're defense 4. Guess what? Larry's almost entire army is defense 4. I think Mongol thing is cool. I'm glad the individuals are not scoring, because that's how it should be.
Right.
Dominate, I think, is the reason I give this one to Ray, just flat out. But it's a really funny list. It's basically like styrofoam versus a giant lead block sitting still. But it'll be fun. I give it to Ray.
All right.
Yeah, I'm looking at what Larry has. Larry's fast, but so is Ray. But it's like what Mike said. It's just like water hitting the rocks. It's gonna come in hard. He might delete a unit V, but that's gonna be it. It's gonna be a unit, because Ray's just as fast as Larry, and Ray's just got to worry about what the skirmish lancers and maybe the winged beast. But the one winged beast is 6 attack, the other's 3. He really doesn't have to worry about a lot.
Yeah, that don't matter.
Yeah, and ding the Phoenix. And the problem with those skirmish units, remember, they're individuals, so Ray can still see through them. So if he tries to put in front of vampires are like, that's cute, bro. Excuse me, I'm going to go this way.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm using the badge of the Oracle. A womp, 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 womp. I'm going to say Ray on this one, because he only has to kill 5 more unit strength, and then him and Larry are equal. And vampires can do that by themselves.
Yeah. And Alona's, sorry, Rossi, you haven't even spoken yet, but
No, it's fine.
Alona alone can just go dissolve a unit a turn, and she's gonna get teleported, somewhere. It's gonna be a pain in the royal fucking ass, and she's just gonna be like, "Yep, this unit is gonna murder. Next unit murder." Like, those individuals are gonna do so much work against this army because they're winning on 2s with everything. It's just a tough matchup. I think the Mongol army is awesome. I think Larry's army is perfectly fine, but those vampires are really a lot harder to deal with than people think when it's all deadly, and you can't just get that like, oh, I get a lucky waiver and I'll be okay.
Right.
Guess what? They're fearless. Sorry. Lights out.
And the one vampire lord has Boots of the 7 Leagues, so it's like if he gets first turn, that guy's he vanguards, puts him in cover or whatever, First turn, he just jumps out, hits somebody real hard. I mean, he could
Nasty.
probably block up a lot of the. He could block up a lot of Larry's stuff.
Yeah.
I want to
It's
watch
nasty.
it.
Rossi, you gonna make a pick there, bro?
Yeah, I'm okay. So I've never seen a Mongol list like this. So everything moves
Never seen a
9.
Mongol list.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. But everything moves 9. The Lancer, he's got 5 regiments of the Lancers. Those count for scoring, and they have 18 attacks apiece sitting on 3s with elite, right? TC2.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Right. So if you take a look at that, that translates to about eight wounds, right, on a charge,
Mm-hmm.
right? And everything, even though Ray's stuff is fast, everything here is like 1 or 2 inches faster, unless it's a mounted vampire or the jerk on a dragon. Now, those are amazing, and you're right. They touch stuff and they kill it. But that being said, I don't know how Larry plays, but I could see if he, like you said, run circle, get 2-on-1, blow something up, turn. He'll lose something and then get 2-on-1. All he's got to do is remove those 2 regiments, and then the unit strength that Ray can bring to bear is pretty small, right? Like he doesn't have any unit strength that day. He has 2 regiments on the field, and that's it.
The problem is those individuals cause absolute havoc to exactly that plan. He's got 3 individuals.
Right.
That will
360, 18 inches. Yeah.
Yep. And they got the same amount of speed. He can't outrange them. They get in on one of those regiments of Cav. They lose their Thunderous. They're going to sit there and deal with it. He'll kill them eventually. It'll take 3 turns. But yeah, those individuals are the reason this army works, is they just go out and fucking ruin your day with anything that has a chance of killing the vampires.
Right.
And clocks are a thing. Like Ray can take his time to put his stuff exactly where it needs to be. Larry's gonna have to be smart, and Larry's gonna have to be smart about his angles. I mean, Larry could do it, but he's gonna have to be super smart, really technical with his angles where stuff can land.
Yeah.
And Ray will beat him on time.
Yeah, Ray doesn't need time to roll any dice. He's only got fucking 8 units.
Right.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Hey,
all right, Mike, make a pick, man.
It is going to be Ray. Hey, my pick is Ray. I was just trying to make
No, it's a good argument.
something in the other direction, right? But I it's a lot of speed, and like I said, if Larry played this army twice, right, he'd have you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you learn.
I agree with that.
Right? But how often do you get a chance to play someone with 8 drops, right? And if it touches you, it just kills you, right?
It literally does. The Soul Reaver infantry units are just. People don't realize how deadly they are. They absolutely murder.
Oh my god,
it's terrifying.
Yes, I'm well acquainted with them. They hurt real bad.
Yeah,
they burned down golden fields. All right, so there's that clean sweep.
All right, so clean sweep. We'll see if Felix has a different opinion when he gets on eventually. Probably not though. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Which way am I gonna go? I'm gonna pick. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick Ray. I'm not actually competing, but I'm picking Ray because I think you guys are probably right. All right, so let's go on to the next table.
Sean, the protege who's let me down every tournament.
So yeah, this is on table 2. We have Sean Moore versus Kevin Harrison. I think this might be Kevin's first one, and if not, he might have gone to Mountaineer like 2 years ago. So it's, yeah, so I think I don't think he's played since then. So I'm kind of counting him as a newcomer.
He's who that Jake brought, so Jake would get last place.
Right.
And Jake had to beat him in the last game.
Right.
Oh my god.
Final table Mountaineer did not get the wooden spear.
Good times. Right. So there are 7 challenges out of 11 matchups, and the only other restriction I put on the random matchups was that obviously clubs can't play each other, which is the ones I do for all the first day. It's pretty standard. But also I didn't want the same army to play the same army, and a couple of these non-challenge armies were the same. So that kind of explains why some of the matchups fell out the way they did. So on table 2, we've got Sean Moore playing Trident Realm versus Kevin Harrison playing Dwarves. Sean is part of a club that has named themselves the Guillotines. He's currently 27th in the Mid-Atlantic, and he finished 11th last year at Vanguard GT. I think he won Countercharger. And again, this is Kevin's first time coming to Vanguard GT.
Happy you're coming, Kevin.
Yep. Yeah. No. You'll have a great time.
I do
Definitely.
love it. It's just Kevin dwarves. That's what
Kevin
he got.
Dwarves. That's it. That's it. It's all uphill from here, man.
But
Yeah,
it
but,
is a well-known dwarf army.
It is a very well known. Yeah, this will look familiar for some of you folks when
Right.
we get to it. So Sean's Trident Realm army. He's got a Naiad Ensnarer Horde with the Brew of Courage. He's got a Depth Horror Horde with the Brew of Haste. He's got 2 Giga Hordes with the Blade of Slashing on one and Healing Brew on the other. He's got a Naiad Worm Rider Horde with the Blessing of the Gods. He's got a Greater Water Elemental. He's going triple Knucker. He's got 2 Naiad Envoys. One's got Heal and Shroud of the Saint, and the other's got Critter's Call and the Loot of Insatiable Banechant. He's got a Naiad Worm Rider Centurion with the Orcus Skull Pole, which is a super popular 5-point item.
Yeah.
He's got the Siren, and he's got the King Crabs formation, which makes those Gigas speed 5, I think, and maybe Elite or something like that. So that clocks in at 13 drops and 20 unit strength. So that's about average for drops, but a little over average in terms of unit strength because he does have a lot of hordes.
Right.
And then over to Kevin's Dwarves. Let me know if you can guess where this list came from. So he's got 2 Ranger troops. He's got 3 Earth Elemental hordes. He's got 2 Berserker Brock Rider regiments, one with Potion of the Caterpillar and one with Brew of Strength. He's got triple Iron Belcher Organ guns, a Berserker Lord mounted with the Blade of the Beast Slayer, just the way they come. He's got a Stone Priest with Banechant and Martyr's Prayer. And he's got Gallick's Fury, the legendary Steel Behemoth. That's clocking in at 13 drops, same as Sean, but with only 16 unit strength.
Sure.
So, away we go. Mike Rossi, you're the resident dwarf player. What do you think?
It's a good list. The dwarf list is a good list. I mean, it goes without saying, right? I mean, Alex drives this car all over the place, right? And this is somebody else does all the work for you, and you go, well, I'll take that too. So the thing I like about it is, boy, the hordes. It's the 3 Earth Elemental hordes playing Dominate. Moving those is going to be tough because he can lose the Brock Riders and he'll just run them up, right? Just go make a mess, right? The thing that I would take a look at is I didn't notice if Sean has anything that's height 4 that can shoot. Because that Stone Priest with Martyr's Prayer, he's
And the ass.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I see you, psst, please remove that unit.
He's got the Knuckers. Knuckers might be able to get around.
right?
Yeah.
But and I don't know. That's a tough list. But
Yeah, I mean,
But
Knuckers are speed 9, and he's got 3
Nimble
of
and
them.
Pathfinder.
And Nimble and Pathfinder. So if he wants
Right.
to send a Knucker on priest hunting duty, he can. That's
once
probably
he gets him in the backfield, it's the thing to do. The Berserker Lord can kill one thing, but it can't kill 3 things, right?
right.
Yeah, he's
Right.
got to be dealing with some other stuff. So
Yeah, and then the other thing too is that the Earth Elementals, even though they are defense 6, and I'm sure they're pretty, they're rough and rowdy with the Martyr's Prayer, but they don't put out a lot of damage. They hit on 4s. Anything with ensnare, you run in, you're hitting on 5s. You kind of suck. You're gonna do 2 or 3 wounds. It's who gives a shit territory. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
Sean does have the Siren who's got the Wind Blast in reverse. So
Yeah.
if he gets in range of the Stone Priest with that, he could use that
combo
to
wombo.
pull
Yeah.
the Stone Priest out.
suck them
Yeah.
out and then shoot them out.
I was
Yeah,
thinking
enough
pull
of that
something
color.
and then surge into him. That's the combo wombo.
Yeah, it's a lot. You better hope it works. Right? Or else the siren's hanging up by herself going, what happened? Right?
Hey, girl. So what's your pick there, bro?
Does he have Surge on anything? I don't think Sean has Surge on any of his casters.
Well,
does
then
he?
there's no combo wombo. He's letting me down.
Not that one.
Yeah.
All right. Boy. I don't know, Kevin. I don't know how he plays. Just based on the list and looking at
He doesn't play.
that's the spirit, right? I'm gonna go with the Trident Realms because I think that there's enough there if he plays aggressive to get into the backfield and start making a mess. That's my opinion.
All right. Jesse, what do you think?
I'm gonna go
Jesse
with
Fleet,
Sean.
though.
No, yeah, I'm gonna go with Sean on this. Sean has played dwarves for a long time, so he knows what he needs to hunt Kevin's a new guy, and I feel like he's going to get frustrated with Ensnare. He's going to get, and Sean's got, Gigas are slow, but by the time they get there, it's crushing strength 3. They're going to be able to hit what they need to. Please don't mind the dogs.
I thought my dog was going crazy. It's yours.
Yeah. Apparently the mic on this laptop's amazing. Who knew? Got 3, the 3 knockers like monsters. Yeah, he's going to get where he wants. He knows what he needs to hit to make it go away. Hopefully, I mean, to me, Kevin's biggest chance is Sean just gets stupid and runs in front of the organ guns, maybe.
It's possible.
Because whatever those organ guns hit is going to be gone. Like,
yeah, all the defense force shit.
Yeah, besides the Gigas, maybe. But yeah, everything else, organ gun, pick it up.
It's 4 wounds. An organ gun does 4 wounds.
Hey, we had an educational lesson earlier about standard deviation and averages, Mike.
Right. We already know.
Well, and it's,
did you learn anything?
And it's 3 of them, so even if it is only 4 wounds, that's still 12 in a turn.
It's 12
it
at a
depends on how
time.
he sets them up.
True.
Right? Depends on if he spreads them out or if he tries to control board space and putting them together. So I don't know.
Honestly, if I was Kevin, I'd put those 3 organ guns like right outside the circle and be like, "All right, bitch, let's play."
Come on in, see what happens. Right.
So,
Right.
Yep.
yeah. So here's the thing: is if Kevin listens to his cast and hears me say this, put your 3 hordes of elementals in the dead center of the table. Let everything else die trying to kill his shit. You're gonna win the game because the Trident Realm stuff won't be able to kill the elementals in the middle of the board. That said, I know Kevin's a new player, and I know Sean knows dwarves extremely well. And if he plays it right and takes his time and picks his fights and stuff, it wins. It's a that's how matchups work. With that though, I think Sean's got the experience, and I'm gonna give it to Sean.
Yeah.
Don't let me down.
Oh,
Dig it.
3 up
yeah,
and 3 down. Go ahead, Jesse.
I'm sorry, I just forgot that Kevin also has Gollix Fury, so he does have the steel. Yeah, so Gollix Fury
That's
and
true.
3 hordes of Earth Elementals. Be like,
Yeah.
all right, punch this.
Yeah.
It's tricky. Like I think Kevin's list has the tools. Like it's really solid.
does.
So like played well for this in this scenario. Like he can just kind of park a bunch of defense 6 stuff in the middle and box Sean out.
Yeah.
I don't know, but Sean plays a lot more and does also play this army. So I think I'm gonna go with you guys and say Sean's gonna edge this one out. And that's 2 unanimous decisions here. So we need to start getting to some
Politics,
different,
baby.
opinions. Yeah. Still no Felix, so hopefully he'll join us soon.
We don't need him. He's boring.
We'll go we'll go on to the next matchup on table 3. So this is a challenge. This is Tom Strother versus Joey Greek. Thomas is playing his Abyssal Dwarves, and Joey's playing Elves. Thomas is the for those of you who don't know how I do this. When you challenge somebody at my tournament, I've got tables themed after armies in Kings of War. So when you challenge somebody, the person that you challenge has the option of facing you on the table themed after their army if it's available. So they kind of have home field advantage. So I label the 2 sides of the challenge, the Conqueror and the Defender, and then I give out medallions like the Oracle medallion that say Conqueror or Defender, depending on who wins, whether you like conquered the other guy's table or whether you successfully defended it. So Thomas is the challenge Conqueror and Joey's the challenge Defender because they're playing on the elf themed table. This is a 7th Circle Gaming versus a Guillotines matchup. Thomas is currently 43rd in the Mid-Atlantic. Again, probably because he's only been to a single one-day event. He finished 17th. Right. Sir, not appearing on this list. That's you. Thomas finished 17th at Vanguard GT last year. And Joey is currently 4th place in the Mid-Atlantic and finished 5th at this tournament last year. So let's go to the lists. So Thomas is playing his Abyssal Dwarves. This is a little bit different than I think what I saw out of him last year. He's got 3 Gargoyle Troops, 2 Lesser Obsidian Golem Regiments, 3 Lesser Obsidian Golem Hordes, 2 Dragonfire Teams, 3 Heavy Mortars, an Abyssal Half-Breed Champ with the Blade of Slashing, an Ironcaster with Surge 8, Guiding Light, and Amulet of the Fireheart, and then Dravak Dalkin and Infernock, clocking in at 17
Wow,
drops
boy.
and 17 unit strength. I think that's kind of a pretty cool Abyssal Dwarf list, actually. Moving on to Joey's Elves. So he's got a standard Kindred Archer Horde with the Heart-Seeking Chant. He's got a standard Kindred Tall Spears Horde with the Brew of Strength. He's got a Forest Shambler Horde with the Whip of Celerity. He's got 2 Stormwind Cavalry Regiments. He's got a Drakon Rider Horde with Chant of Hate, and Army Standard Bearer mounted with the Bane Chant Loot. He's got 2 Elven Princes mounted with the Sabertooth Throwing Cat on both of them.
What's a cat?
Yeah, I didn't type that. A Forest Warden, a Tree Herder, and the King's Champions formation for 11 drops and 17 unit strength. And those are the lists. All right, what do you guys think? Mike, you've played Elves a bit. Why don't you tell us what you think of Joey's list?
Which one? Oh, wait, that's me. I've played
That would be
once or twice.
you.
Joey taking his little pussy cats over there. I don't know what the fuck you're wasting 30 points on. They suck. Welcome to the real world. I will say
Hot
the
take.
Elven King hitting on 2s with Elite. That's cute. Skull Pole's nice. There's some nice things in the army. You got some Vanguard. You got some defense. I look at this army, and at first I would just want to be like, yeah, it's kind of boring. Doesn't really do much. But from a scenario standpoint, it's well-rounded. It brings a lot of interesting things. It brings 2 Elven Princes that first time I played George at Masters 2 years ago, round 4, he was like, they have Inspire. And I was like, no, they don't. Yes, they do. And he learned round 4 at Masters. Joey probably won't cheat like George did. So maybe it'll be a little bit better. Interesting army. I mean, I hate to do the whole if this happens, then that happens, but somebody's running 3 heavy mortars. If they hit, game's over. That's it. That's really it. I'm going to go ahead and play the odds and say they're not going to all hit in the first 3 turns. So let's give it to Joey. Fuck it. Why not? That's my
He
decision.
does have Guiding Light on this caster, though.
Yeah, but his caster is speed 4. He's got to get out there.
Fair.
Was it range 12? Is that right? I haven't been able to keep up with this shit with the goddamn baby, but
I was kind of like doing like Mike was doing, where if this happens, but someone's got to remember, all those obsidian golems are height 3. Joey has one thing that's height 4, and that's a lot of obsidian golems. Like, he's going to have to... I play Thomas, don't get me wrong, but Thomas gets excited, Thomas gets sloppy. And I feel like Thomas is going to block a lot of his own shots. So he's got 1, 2, 3 hordes, 2 regiments. I mean, that's a lot of space. What is that? 100, 200, that's 250 millimeters of coverage that he's going to somehow have spots to hit with the mortar. And Joey's got Drake and Riders, which are height 3, and the Tree Herder, which is height 4. So he blows up the Tree Herder first turn, and then Joey's just like, oh, just use your shit to hide. Suck it.
Felix has joined the call.
So
Hi,
look
Brian.
at that. Somebody decided they actually want to participate here.
I thought about it. Okay, yeah, I figured why not.
Oh, you're in the murder basement. Nice.
I am, although you look like you're stuck in some silo.
I'm in your basement, actually.
Oh, that makes sense. I thought I heard people talking when I walked down here. Makes all the sense now.
Welcome,
Walls
Felix.
coated in plastic.
It's
That's
like it's insulation actually.
it's
looks
that's
like-
what you do when you cover up insulation when your house doesn't have walls.
It looks like something out of
Yes.
Dexter.
That's where the murder basement nickname comes from. So, alrighty.
How you doing,
Right
Felix?
here.
If you, would you like to introduce yourself quickly to the audience, Felix?
For the folks that are watching, I'm Felix Castro. I'm a player out of the Midwest, Dayton area. Usually I'm mildly funny sometimes, but my mom says looks aren't everything. So, yeah.
That's cute.
Cool. We are on table 3, so you only missed the first 2 tables. We are talking through Joey Greek and Thomas Strother. If you want to check out those lists, I don't know if you had time to look at the lists beforehand or anything.
A couple of them. I usually just look at Joey's lists and laugh. Let's see if
I was just making fun of it. Don't worry. Get on board.
Good. I'm glad I didn't miss anything. See the Abyssal Dwarves. Yeah, that's a lot of that's a pretty standard dwarf list from like last year. Not entirely certain how it is. And
Damn. Don't be so harsh.
Clash Kings 19, but I wouldn't want to face it, but
But yeah,
that's because I'm not good at this game. So
took the words out of my mouth, my friend.
words can't hurt me if you say it first. But yeah, that's pretty much.
Make it big, bro. That's what we're here to do. In case you didn't know.
As much as it gives me a little indigestion to say it, I'm gonna pick Joey just because I don't know. I guess the power of the mafia jumpsuit, Adidas pumps or whatever he likes to wear, coming through. So
Yeah, is Joey Russian? Sometimes Joey dresses like he's Russian, doesn't he?
Like an oligarch. I am Epic Win.
I am Big Boss.
All right, what do you think, Mr. Rossi?
Oh man. Yeah, it's a lot of obsidian golems, man.
Yeah, but as long as he moves them properly at speed 5, they're not going to get any fucking where.
Yeah, but it's dominate. Just hang out. There's the same
That's
thing
true.
from the last dwarf guy. Stand in the middle, put your finger out, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, I'll give you that. Do your thing.
It's a lot of unit strength. I do, Jesse. I do agree with you though that blocking them shooting lanes is a thing. But now that you've said it, I know Tom is listening, so it'll be fine. By the way, Tom sent me a message just now and said that Joey grudged him. And if I heard you right, like Joey's like I don't know, he's in the top 5, and Tom Strother is rated the 72nd guy in the Mid Atlantic. Like, what's going on there?
I don't know. I maybe I wrote it down wrong, or maybe I just flipped them around because I don't have an Abyssal Dwarf themed table, so I put them on the elf themed table. So
Right. No, I'm not asking that. I'm just saying, like, what is Joey picking on Tom for?
No, because
Right?
they're pals. Tom's like the biggest shit talker ever, honestly.
Trust me, I
Tom
know.
really likes to talk trash, and he'll go challenge anybody and everybody, and he usually
Right.
does. So I respect him for it.
It's because Joey decided to be Big Boss this tournament.
Yeah.
Told
him
it's
his disciple.
what do you think, Mike? You going to go against the grain, or are you going to go with Joey?
I'm going to go with Tom. For dominate, I'm going to go with Tom.
All right.
That's fair.
What do you think, Jesse?
I'm gonna go with Joey on this one.
All right. I think
Sorry, Thomas.
I'm going to go with Thomas because I think his mortars are going to work in turn 1. And then
The Moitas is going to work.
the Moitas is going to work.
My plantar fasciitis.
The
ass smart.
I can't move very fast. It hurts when I walk. Jesus.
I have asthma. How much pollen is there out here? We're in the woods. So I think all that defense six stuff of Thomas is he's going to be able to walk into the middle, and Joey's not going to be able to move him. So I'm going to go with Thomas just to see. Felix, you missed the first 2. Do you want to go back and like make quick picks on them now, or do you want me to circle back to you at the end?
Circle back. Go back to the first. I'll flip a coin.
Okay,
Coin
that's
style.
fair. That's fair. Hold on, I can do that. Okay, so, quick summary. Table 1 is Undead, played by Ray Wyant versus Larry Essex Mongols. Ray Wyant's list is super crazy elites
8 drops.
with only 8 drops on unit strength and a whole bunch of vampires
Versus Mongols.
with 5 Lancer regiments and 3 Skirmish Lancer regiments and some other stuff.
Let me go with Ray. Just
Okay.
Come on, man. We're not here all night.
No, I just said one with Ray. So
And then table 2, we got Sean Moore playing Trident Realm versus Kevin Harrison playing Dwarves. That's Sean's Trident Realm list. It's a little bit of everything, and the Giga
Right.
in
Formation.
scheming formation with a big old 20 unit strength. And then the dwarf list is a pretty solid dwarf list. But Kevin's a very, very new player that doesn't play a whole bunch.
Kevin's playing Alex Chavez's army.
Basically.
Gotcha.
Like
Yeah,
literally.
Kevin's the F and G.
Yeah, but Sean knows dwarves, so
There you go. You know something.
I'll go with Sean on that one. See,
All right.
I contributed. Yay! All right,
Yeah.
Kevin.
So those are pretty much clean.
Yay.
All right. Now we're all caught up, so let's move on to table 4. We have Bart Kohler versus George O'Connell.
Here we go. I'm gonna be here for a while.
Here we go. So this is Elves with Forces of Nature allies versus Twilight Kin with Goblin allies. Bart is technically the challenge conqueror in this. George just kind of put out like an open call, and Bart jumped on it. So Bart counts as the conqueror in this one, and George counts as the defender. This is stooge on stooge violence. I wouldn't pair two people from the same club against each other, but that's how that shook out. So that's fine. I do give out a best club award for the club with the highest top 3 finishers, the highest total score between them. So I guess this is one way to ensure that your club gets a win in the first round. I don't know. So Bart finished 10th at Vanguard GT last year, and he is a newly annexed member of the Mid-Atlantic, being a New Jersey resident. George is currently 11th place in the Mid-Atlantic, and he finished 2nd at this tournament last year. So Bart's list, Elves with Forces of Nature allies. So he's got 2 Palace Guard regiments, a standard Kindred Tall Spear Horde with the Brew of Strength, a Stormwind Cav regiment with the Brew of Sharpness. He's got 2 Drakon Rider hordes, one with Brew of Haste and one with Whip of Celerity. He's got an Army Standard Bearer mounted with a Loot of Insatiable Darkness. He's got the Green Lady. He's got the Honor Guard of the Green Lady formation. And then his Forces of Nature allies are a Naiad Worm Rider horde and a Naiad Worm Rider Centurion, which comes in at 10 drops and 17 unit strength, which is a touch on the elite side compared to other lists. And George O'Connell's Twilight Kin with Goblin allies.
Sorry, I have a cock in my throat.
That's okay.
Oh, my God.
So he's got two Goblin Rabble regiments, a Goblin Blaster, which apparently does have an actual lightable candle on it. 10, count them 10. That's not a typo.
Is that typo?
That is not a typo. That is 10 Darkside Chariot regiments.
That's double digits for a unit.
That is
Regiments.
regiments. That is 3 Twilight Dragon Breaths, 3 High Priestesses of the Abyss, one with British Call, the Inspiring Talisman, one with Alchemist Curse and Banner of the Griffin, and one with Blizzard, and an Army Standard Bearer with Diadem of Dragonkind. That is 20 drops and 25 unit strength. So this is our high drop, high unit strength army for the tournament. Who would like to go
Irony.
first?
What? A bunch of shooting with breath attack? Well, I've never seen George run a list like this at all.
Never.
What the shit?
Seems rather mindless.
It's just playing to have fun, guys.
It's a lot of fun.
Watch out.
Whatever.
We don't want hurt feelings. Man, Jesus, I know it's a tournament. Here's what I hope happens. Like, for some reason, George got chariots, the Goblin Blaster, which with all these fucking chariots, I don't even know where the hell he's going to put the Goblin Blaster. I hope Bart blows it up and it just wrecks everything. I would sacrifice a thing of Draken Riders just to punch the shit out that fucking blaster and kill like 6 of those fucking chariots. But that's me. Bleh. I mean, bleh.
Cutting
like,
analysis.
I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, each shot, there's not, I mean, dick mode engaged, just fucking sit back. George is going to run out of time rolling bullshit dice. I mean, in all fairness, like, I don't know Bart. He's from that land that Mr. Rossi forgot, New Jersey.
How dare you?
Shots fired.
So here's the thing: is Bart's like the nicest human.
He's the
ever.
best human ever.
He's the best dude. I swear to God. And he actually felt bad for George. He was like, "I'll play the guy," not realizing that George is, fucking George. And
I'm looking at
this
this
is what he gets to deal with.
Like if he had some even one thing of like shooty elves, he could just pick off each of those bullshit dragon breaths, one a turn. But it's like, man, Bart, I don't know you, but I love you. But you're gonna be picking your shit up because you march across the field nobly. Your Draken Riders flying high. The breeze of the army standard bearer whipping past the Green Lady and her honor guard as they lay down. You may regen only to be pierced by more arrows. Hopefully, that bullshit candle catches a chariot on fire.
All right.
That
I
game.
want to make a prediction. George is going to win because this is not really a prediction. It's just it's mathematical certainty. But Jesse, are you going to the tournament? You're not going to be there, right?
No, I got a all expense paid trip to Lone Wolf because pity party.
Right. Bart is going to win best sports.
There you go.
So, there you go. That's my extra point right there. But
He
he's
should.
going to lose to George in the first round. I mean, what can man do against such reckless hate or at least thoughtless game playing? Right? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I think Bart may have come in second place for sports last year, maybe. So yeah, it's possible that he picks up
Ichiban.
the sport.
He usually ranks well in sports.
Yep. All right, Felix, what do you think?
That is a lot of BS, especially for dominate. God, yeah. I'm gonna side with you guys and say Bart's. Good luck. Hope you do take out that red goblin blaster, but yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, not.
Don't worry, Bart. George won't be competing with you for best sport. That's for damn sure.
Solidly.
He wouldn't even compete with me for best sport for fuck's sake. And that's saying some shit.
All right, so that's Jesse. Jesse and Mike also both going for George. Or somebody gonna go?
Yeah, I'm not gonna like it, but I'll pick him.
I hate picking people that run this fucking shit. If Bart didn't tell me today that he couldn't beat it, I would pick Bart just because I love the guy and don't love the other guy. George's army is not good. It's just fucking annoying. That's what it is. It's just not fun. Nobody wants to play against you or your army. And yeah, you're gonna win, George, but I don't care. That's it. There's my pick.
All right, let's move on to something different.
Anything else?
Table 5.
Right now.
Table 5 is going to be a fun table because we've got two first-time attendees playing each other.
Nice.
So we've got Robert Kinsey, who's a local guy here in Fredericksburg that I've been playing with, and Andy Davis, who I think is one of Alex's friends. Robert will be playing.
He works with Alex and I.
Works with Alex. Okay. So you know him too?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So Robert's playing Orcs, and Andy is playing Abyssals. Robert is representing the Stooges, and I guess we made Andy an aristocrat. I must have missed that meeting, but we don't have meetings, so whatever. Welcome to the club. So Robert's Orcs. He's got 2 Axe Hordes. One's got Potion of the Caterpillar, and one's got Banner of the Griffin. He's got 2 more Axe Regiments, a Great Axe Regiment, 2 Sculpt Troops, a Troll Horde, a Gore Rider Regiment, a Fight Wagon Horde with the Brew of Strength, a Crudger on Gore Chariot with Goblin Stabby Sneak, which I think just gives +1 attack, a Flagger, a God Speaker with Mind Fog and the Inspiring Talisman, and a War Drum, clocking in at 14 drops and 24 unit strength.
I would just like to note that each of these units is specially named.
Yeah,
That's cool.
He loves his stuff.
Down with that.
He's a good guy. He's fun to play against. And then Andy's Abyssals. He's got 2 Gargoyle Troops. He's got 2 Lower Abyssal Hordes, one with Fire Oil, because, hey, 5 points. He's got 2 Tortured Soul Regiments, as you do. He's got 3 Abyssal Despoiler Hordes, going for the new hot list. One with a Potion of Caterpillar. He's got 2 Archfiends of the Abyss, both with wings, one with Blade of Slashing, and the other with Healing Brew, clocking in at 11 drops and 21 unit strength, which is kind of a lot of unit strength for
It's a lot.
just 11 drops. I think when I did the math, he might have been the guy that had the highest unit
And
strength
least
per,
drops.
Yeah, he does. He has the highest unit strength per drops at 1.9, where the average was like 1.4. So that's pretty cool. All right, those are the lists. What do you guys think about the?
I'm
the
jumping
move-off?
in here. So Andy works with Alex and I. He's been Alex's little protege recently. Alex has been. They literally play games on our conference table after work some days, and it's awesome.
I'm jealous.
Alex helps him quite a bit making the army, and the army is fantastic. That list is fantastic. That Abyssal list is really good. I do not know Robert, but I actually really like his army too. And we talked about it at work today, and it's going to be a bloodbath. Like, this matchup is going to just be straight murder, especially the fact that it's dominate.
Things are gonna
Drop
die.
everything in the middle and just go kill each other. It's going to be fun. Is Robert a new player, by the way? I don't know.
He is an old Warhammer player that I got
Okay.
back into the hobby. Like, I was doing
Nice.
a demo game at your hobby place one day, and he wandered
Got
by.
it.
He's like, wait, what was this? What's this? And he's like, oh yeah, I want to try that game out. So yeah, we played
Nice.
5 or 6 games. He's
Awesome.
through. He had a few old Warhammer armies, and he kind of cycled through those and decided he liked orcs, and so he's tested a couple of orc generations. I've been throwing like a couple of different lists at him. Like, I had to play some Varangur, and I had to play some Twilightkin, just getting some experience. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Nice. So, depending on his experience with Warhammer, Andy's, I'll say, relatively new to wargaming. He's played some stuff back in the day. I think some historical type stuff. So, I think it'll come a little bit to natural skill level. Sounds like Robert's kind of new to King's War. Andy's kind of new to gaming as a whole. But I gotta go with Andy because he's my work buddy. I'm hoping he pulls it off, and either way, it's going to be a great game. They're going to have a blast just murdering each other. So, but I'm going Andy.
Great.
Let me down, bro.
These guys are gonna have a great first tournament game against each other. So
Yeah, they're both just straight up like move forward and just munch.
Just
And it's a great matchup.
yeah, and I will point out that now that you described it that way, this is like somebody that Alex taught the game to playing against somebody that I taught the game to. So there's a little bit of we'll see who's the better mentor. Probably Alex. Sorry, Robert. But Alex is better at this game than me, so maybe he's a better teacher too. Or maybe he's not. Whenever you ask Alex for list advice, he just kind of shrugs and says, "I don't know, give it a try and see how it goes." So like,
Yeah, his list building skills are special.
Yeah.
Alex is a trial and error type guy.
Definitely something to be said for that. What do you think, Mr. Rossi?
Oh boy! So I was looking at the orc list, and there's a lot of nerve to chew through. Boy, there's a boatload of attacks in the abyssal list. You know what I mean? So I thought that was going to make a difference, but I think the abyssal list, because it's a little faster, will get the charge off.
Yep.
Especially if it's just get in the middle and fight. You know what I mean? There's not going to. I got to go with the abyssal list. I don't know either of the players. I don't know how good they are, but the 2 flying archfiends.
Yeah, those are the factor.
3 hordes. The
Mhm.
3, oh man, just 18 attacks.
It's tough, right? Yeah, but
It's brutal.
It's a
What's
brutal.
Russian 2 and
It's
TC1.
yeah.
What are we doing, right? So yeah, I got to go with the abyssal list. I think it's a really good list. It throws a boatload of damage. Oh my god.
So
right?
nasty. So nasty.
Yeah. And pretty relatively quick too.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think, Jesse?
I was looking. I mean, the big part of me is the Archfiend of the Abyss. If Robert had a Gakamak in his list, it might be a whole different story.
Right.
Because then he's got somebody to keep the guys away from his flanks. But once Andy sets up in the flanks, it's like, Andy's kind of new, but he's essentially he's the Padawan to Alex Chavez. I mean, it's kind of like being the guy who spars with Mike Tyson. Yeah, you're not Mike Tyson, but
No, if that's the case, then he just has brain damage. Who are you talking about? You don't get any better in 12 seconds. right? You just wake up.
Right,
You know what I
it's
mean?
true.
Jesus.
So yeah, the Archfiend. Yeah, I think the Archfiend's really kicking over to Andy, especially he gets in the flanks. But it's going to be ugly because whatever the Abyss will hit first, but the Orcs will probably still be
Yeah.
standing around. And when
The
they hit
fight,
back, yeah,
that fight wagon horde with brew strength is like brutal. It's absolutely brutal. If it touches, I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
dying.
tough.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the tough.
even the
that's
lower
unit.
Bissel's getting into an axe or Jesus. If a Morax catches a flank on something,
Yep. Oh yeah, it's lights out.
Yeah.
Morax checks the flank on anything. It's over, except for a unit we're gonna see later tonight. I can't wait.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with Andy on this one, but I guarantee it's gonna be a win by it's like maybe 1 or 2 unit strength, and that's gonna be it.
All right. What do you think, Felix?
Totally see that.
I just want to know, what have you guys done to Andy to have him produce such of a filthy list? I mean, y'all just must just
He hangs out with Alex and I. Like,
beat
what
the
else do you need?
breaks off of him constantly, man. I do.
Yeah, I can
agree
vouch
with-
for that. When your teaching experiences against Mike and Alex, you get really brutal
Yeah.
at making lists really fast,
Fucking
I mean,
or
I
you stop
knows
playing
knows
this
all about
game
that.
and you go play like some different game instead.
I mean, I almost had to like wash my eyes out, just so dirty looking at that list. That said, I do agree with Mike Rossi what he said about the Archfiends kind of being kind of the X factor. If he can get those in on some flanks, it's going to be dunzos. And I will say props to his opponent, because Orcs are kind of kings of war on hard mode, as Eric Trowbridge would say. But yeah, I think it's going to be Andy. The Orcs like to grind, but Abyssals just love to see like stationary targets just to just rip into. So.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go with Robert because I feel like I should. But I think this will be a fun match to watch. Like, these guys are definitely gonna smash some face and have fun rolling dice. And
Oh,
picking
it's
units
gonna be
up.
bloody. There might
it's
be
gonna be a fun
500 points
game.
left
Yeah,
combined.
they're gonna have a fun game no matter what. Yeah.
Yep. So that is 5 tables down with our couple of introductory slides. So this is kind of like the midpoint. And we're an hour in, so I'm going to say let's take like a 3-minute break. You guys can refill drinks, hit the head, whatever, and then we'll catch back up in just a few minutes. So everybody on the live stream, bear with us, and we'll be right back.
Nice.
More whiskey. Don't mind if I do.
Let's all go to the lobby.
And get ourselves the same. I just want to tell you, Mike Rossi, you're my favorite part of Unplugged Radio. Just FYI.
Thank you. I like that. May I ask why?
Because you're not Jake or Greg. That's right.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Actually, I got to play against both of them at Blue City Brawl this past weekend, or 2 weekends ago. That was last weekend. So yeah, it was fun. Plus,
Yeah.
I don't know, just you bring something different to the show, which I like. So that's all.
I appreciate that. I usually don't agree with them, so that helps.
That might be it.
Right. Or else it's just a bunch of dudes agreeing with each other and being like,
Yeah.
"Well, I agree too. You're great. Yeah, I'm great too." You know, so it's discussion.
I
is the key to victory.
kind of laugh because I sometimes call Unplugged the player haters ball, because like nobody likes anything on that show. It's like, good lord.
Dude. Oh my god! And it all depends on. I don't know if it's still. Oh, the conversation is on air. I should probably be careful. So I just said anyway. So
We'll talk about it later. How about that? There you go.
You're already only a co-host. What's Jake going to do? Demote you again?
Ooh.
Well, I'm waiting for the day when they just stop inviting me. I just assume it's only a matter of time. But
Like,
the thing
oh,
that I
sorry,
love-
moved it to Thursday nights. Oh, our bad.
What? Right. The thing that I love is the fact the running gag is the fact that John has never read anything that he's liked.
Right.
Right. Except for the Harry Dresden stuff. There's always that was all right. That was okay. And meanwhile, I'm hyperbolic. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever read. You must read this immediately.
Right.
You know?
That's too funny.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment.
Not a problem. Doctor.
So I just want to point out, because Mike Adkins was talking about it, and I don't remember this happening, but apparently Mike's first few games back into the game were against me and Alex, who were not nice. Is that the case, Mike?
No, you guys are just really good. And like I've been playing with my club in California, who were kind of fluff players. Like we like playing a variety of things. We like playing some narrative games and some big games. Like we weren't really hardcore strategic tournament players or anything. And then I moved here and started playing against you guys. And I was like, God, I'm just awful at this game because I got my teeth kicked in on a regular basis. And then got to the point where like I actually won one, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not terrible. And then I went to like my first tournament and just started like rolling people, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Ew, okay.
It's not that I'm bad. It's just that I was playing two really, really good people and didn't realize that I've gotten good at this game because I'm still only playing against other really, really good people.
Yeah, that's funny.
I mean, so let me get this straight. The first two people I played on this coast in this game in friendly games is a guy that then went on to win the Masters and another guy that went on to finish third.
It's training day, bro.
Right? Steel sharpens steel, or whatever they say.
There you go. Look, Felix isn't back yet. Who would have thought?
I'm totally here.
He's here.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, surprise. Jesse's not back.
He's crouching in the murder base. Oh, Jesse's back? Okay, well, if everybody's back, then we will go ahead and get started again. So I think I forgot to give the standard disclaimers at the beginning, so I'm going to do that now. For anybody watching, this is all for entertainment purposes only. Everything said here is said with a bit of a tongue-in-cheek, pinch of salt kind of deal. This is not meant to hurt anyone's feelings. It's just all in good fun and in love. It's just something we like to do in the community to rib people and have fun. Nobody take any of this too personally.
Especially one person.
It's all in good fun.
Did you say except for George? Is that what you said?
I didn't say anything like that. I don't know where you heard that. Maybe someone typed it somewhere that I'm not looking. I don't know. So, all right, everybody's back. So we're going to go ahead and move on now to table 6. So this is another challenge.
I feel like they're all challenges. It's ridiculous.
It's right. 7 out of 11 challenges. I know. I love it too. So this is going to be Chris Fisher versus Ray Shields. Chris is going to be playing his Basileans, and Ray's going to be bringing out his French historicals again to see how they do this time around. So Chris, I think Chris technically challenged Ray, but Ray flipped it around and said since I don't have like a French historical table, he said let's play on the Basilean themed table and flip them around. So Chris is defending the city of the Golden Horn as the French try to invade it, I guess.
That's like oddly Canadian. Like no.
We can say a lot of things about the French not having a battlefield. Say.
Hashtag just saying.
So Chris represents Seventh Circle Gaming, and Ray is, of course, one of the aristocrats. Chris is currently 24th in the Mid-Atlantic because he's only been to a single one-day event, I think. And Ray Shields is currently sitting on the pole, as they say, no pun intended, in first place in the Mid-Atlantic. Chris finished Chris finished 7th at Vanguard GT last year, and Ray finished 4th. Let me lock the camera real quick. And let's look like this. So Chris's Basileans. He's got a Penitent Mob Horde. He's got 2 Elohai Hordes, as you do. He's got 2 Paladin Knight Regiments, so you know what's coming later. One of them's got Potion of the Caterpillar. He's got a Sisterhood Panther Chariot Regiment. He's got a Mounted Abbess. He has Nias Salustis, an Elohi with Critter's Call, a War Wizard mounted with Blizzard and the Heart-Seeking Chant, a Phoenix, and then this is one of our first double formation lists. So this is the Holy Lancer formation and the Retribution of Heavens formation. That comes in at 11 drops and 16 unit strength. And Ray's French. He's got 2 heavy warrior regiments. Both of them have 2-handed weapons. He's got 2 levy hordes. He's got a mounted general, mounted musician. He's got 5 chevalier regiments. One's got Brew of Strength. One's got Potion of the Caterpillar. One's got Chant of Hate. One's got Brew of Haste. And one's got Pipes of Terror. He's got Jeanne d'Arc. He's got 2 heroes on Winged Beasts. And he's got 2 wizards, both with Bane Chant and a flying mount, which I think is probably a Pegasus. And that clocks in at 16 drops and a whopping 24 unit strength.
So awesome.
All right. What do we think?
Well, Chris's list would be what I would play if I was good at Basileans, which I am not. I do like that list, though. The Critter's Call on the Elohai is a nice one because being height 2, he can see a lot more things if he's trying to, hide the wizard
Except for
behind.
the fact that his entire army is size 2 also.
Well, he's got the those levy hordes and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, those war wizards are not keeping up with anything. They're just flying around, so doing the thing. But yeah, Ray's list has got that certain I don't say je ne sais quoi, but
Je ne sais quoi.
yeah, that's 5 cavalry regiments. That's yikes.
Man, I mean, I play historical. I've been playing Romans, and I've played Chris a bunch. I've been playing Kings of Men against his Basilean, and Chris is good. Like if I had to pick one guy to win this year, I think it'd be Chris. And
There's clocks. Don't do that.
but it's I mean, whatever Chris hits he's gonna delete. And now Ray's not stupid. I mean, Ray knows what to do, but
He's Canadian.
But I think Mr. Fisher has this one. Plus, he's got to bring this trophy. He's got to bring the shield home to West Virginia, baby. And yeah, I mean with the flying, that's a big deal. And I know Ray has the wizard or no, sorry, that's Chris's. Yeah, Ray has the wizard flying around. He's got nothing really protect against the flyers. I mean, the wizard with breath attack 6, that's a cool story, bro. And the 2 hero and winged beast, but 3 attacks, you're just going to mildly irritate whatever you hit him with. So I'm going to say Chris on this one.
Here's why I'm going to pick Ray. Is because Ray has this like typed in stuff on his list that you guys can't see, including, I don't know how to say it Frenchy, like you might, Jeanne d'Arc, and her quest to aid the aristocrats. He's got a whole story. Jeanne d'Arc was successful in rallying the Kingdom of France. Can I read the whole thing just to bore everybody?
I'll send a link to the.
Does it have anything to do with King Austin? Just
More
wondering.
importantly, he mentions Duke Austin. That's me.
Right, there it is.
So
Yeah.
I'm picking Ray. Ray's
So
our
there's
boy.
obvious pandering.
Ray's in
Got
our
it.
club. Ray knows what the fuck he's doing. It's dominate. He's got the unit strength. I'm getting to not being selfish and thing I normally do, but Ray has the tactics. Ray has the unit strength. It's dominate. Joan of Arc is awesome, absolutely awesome.
What did
Yeah,
she
those
do?
heroes on wing. So she does. She's very inspiring. She gives everybody within 6 inches fury, and I mean that's basically it. But that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got those kitted out regiments of knights that have elite and headstrong built in. They're so good. They're so good. Like historicals are a thing, and people are not recognizing it. And you take somebody like Ray who knows what the fuck he's doing. Chris is great, but Chris is going to get the more we talk about how good Ray is, the more Chris is gonna clock out by turn 3, like he's done on me. And
Nice.
Ray, what's the time limit, Mike? Is there?
It's
What's the?
65 minutes aside.
Yeah, Chris needs like 85, and then maybe he'll get to turn 6. So I'm going with Ray. Sorry,
Haters gonna hate.
I'm not hating. I just love Ray because he talks about me. That's what I care about.
Right. That's all it takes. The Duke is pleased.
Oh my God.
All right, Mr. Rossi.
Oh boy. Chris is fast, right? Chris is fast. He's going to be able to go in and choose something and make it go away. And then the counter charge is going to make, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Ray.
There we go.
He's got 5 regiments of knights. He's got a bunch of other supporting stuff. Yes, those other units go in, they fly around, they do 3 wounds, but they get in a way, they project.
Yep.
They project being able to like ground flyers. All you got to do is a wound, and all of a sudden people are walking.
Well, here's the thing, though.
I don't know.
Even if they don't do wounds, so I can say this from my Twilight Kitten list at Masters. So I had the little Dark Avengers on Pegasus, which are 3 wounds. I charge into shit hindered all the time. I do no wounds, and people are like, haha, I can still do this. Yeah, guess what? I'm size 3, and I'm standing in the middle of your fucking unit. You cannot see around me unless
Right.
things are way out on the flank. They fuck you up way more than you think. They're good. People do not understand how good they are. They disrupt everything you do.
Felix, did you say you were going for Chris, or were you still thinking?
I had not, but I'm kind of leaning more towards Ray because, right, that Alpha Strike that Chris has is going to delete some stuff, but Basileans just don't really hold up to those secondary waves. So probably end up going with Ray, unless Chris offers me $10 off my Mountaineer registration, in which case I'll go with Chris.
True sellout mode right there.
That's good.
my
I'm gonna
That's
I'm gonna enjoy my second year Oracle badge.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Yep. I can't vote against another aristocrat, so I got to go with Ray too, even though it is historical French, which, sorry, I don't think they're great. But then again, like last time I played against his French, I was playing my like all flying abyssals, and that's like the last thing they want to see is shit that'll just fly around them. Chris has some Elohi, but only 2. So yeah, I mean, I gotta vote with Ray. But this will be a fun match to watch. Both these guys are really, really solid players. I would potentially pick either of them to go all the way or at least finish top 5 this year. So we will see what happens. Good. Nice to see we're getting into some split decision rulers.
Chris on day 2 better do better than he did last. Day 2 yesterday or last year, Chris. He could have passed for dead. Really, the first round.
Yeah, he was
in day 2.
He was pretty green.
Bad.
So we're gonna move
Hey,
on
Mike.
to
Is my video on?
Yep.
My thing disconnected me and it stuck me back on.
Oh yeah, no,
Make sure that
I can see you.
Rub your head.
Yep, there we go.
How's that?
Yeah,
All
okay,
right,
I saw it.
Just
Saw it.
That
It's
works.
real.
All right, table 7. This is another challenge. This is JC Lyra versus Sean McCormick. JC is playing Forces of Nature, and Sean's playing Elves. JC challenged Sean. Sean is an aristocrat, and he finished 8th last year at Vanguard. JC doesn't play a whole bunch. I think this is his first GT, but I've been helping him out, like playing against him a lot. And Sean's an old friend of mine from back in the Warhammer days, so I know both these guys pretty well. They know each other. I'm not sure that they've actually played against each other, maybe once before, so this should be kind of an interesting match. So JC's Forces of Nature list is 3 Naiad and Snarer hordes, 2 Centaur Bray Hunter regiments, Druid with Urge and Weakness, Karis, a Winged Unicorn, 2 Beasts of Nature with Breath Weapon 10, Fly, Vicious, and 7 attacks each, a Greater Earth Elemental, and a Greater Fire Elemental, coming at 12 drops and 18 unit strength. And then Sean's Elves are a standard Kindred Archer Horde with Heart-Seeking Chant, 2 Palace Guard regiments, 1 with the Crystal Pendant and 1 with the Orcish Skull Pole, a standard Kindred Tall Spear Horde with Bruised Strength, a War Chariot Horde with the Chant of Hate, 2 Dragon Breaths, an Army Standard Bearer with the Banechant Loot, an Elven Mage mounted with Blizzard, the Green Lady, Medriga the Elf, the Honor Guard of the Green Lady formation, and a Mystical Dragon Kindred Lord with Critter's Call and the Boots of Levitation. That is 12 drops and 14 unit strength, putting it on the kind of elite side of things. All right, what do you guys think?
This
do you
one's
want to
actually
start?
really hard to pick. I don't know either one of these guys.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I like JC's name. That's cool. Sounds like mine with a really bad accent. I don't know. I keep looking at the list and I'm like, oh, Sean's got this because he's good shooting. But then I'm looking, I'm like, well, there's great elementals and he does have a surge to protect them or to do cool shit with them. He's got Beast of Nature and the Winged Unicorn and just meh. I don't know.
And Karras has the Solar Staff, so if he rolls 4s on that, nobody's shooting him.
Who did I play
That
against?
solar staff is. Ugh.
Yeah. I played against Daniel Leutch at the one day up in Maryland. And he, like, the last 2 turns, he got that off. And it was like, I was like, you son of a bitch. All I want to do is I have to charge you, kill you with a horde of Romans, and go forward, and I win this. And he's like, no, Staff of Light, boom. Like, bitch. Big bitch. And I'm like, all right, next turn. He's like, I rolled a 5. Boom. Step. It's just like some bullshit anime where the fucking power of love prevent my Roman stabbing me. Step of Light. Boom. Bitch.
It's like talking to Jake.
Wait, is Jay the
He's the anime guy. He's
Pume? Is Jake a Pume?
Yeah, it really is like some more shit anime. She's like,
Jake's the light beam, honestly.
And you're just like, you fucking bitch. But I'm like, oh, let me try this. She don't roll a 4 to save my life. I'm like, I just need you to roll this 1-4 one time. It's a 2. 2 is me and you. Like,
Oh God! Now, all I can picture is Karras as a fucking Care Bear doing the Care Bear stare.
oh yeah.
Blinded
Oh,
him.
my
if
God.
she on the list and it was a Care Bear on a base, I'd be like, yep, I know exactly who that is.
That's what that is.
There'd be no question. If like, if this is, yep, that's Karis. I get you. Is it the Sunshine Bear? Damn straight it is.
Will that make it a Karis bear?
Oh.
Wow, it's like
Genius.
an unplugged episode. We've got anime references and puns.
I'll be here all night. Try the view
Yeah, because you're locked in that basement, you freak.
with Chianti.
Uh,
Or Chianti.
so before I get yelled at by Duke Austin, the shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, get to it,
Okay,
man.
I'm gonna. Damn it! I'm gonna go with fucking JC because his name's cooler. Fuck it,
All right.
That's fair.
do you
JC
think?
Lyra. Sounds like an awesome like Vogue model or something.
What do you think, Felix?
I'm gonna go with JC because I just have this against elves on principle. Let's just
Fair. Speaking of elves, Mike Austin, what do you think?
I gotta go with Sean McCormley. Sean, every time he's ever participated in a tournament, he completely outdoes my expectations. He knows what he's doing. He's a fucking weirdo, but he's good at being a weirdo. I don't love the list. I don't love the list. There's some weird things in there I wouldn't agree with. And I will say, coming into this, before I saw that he was playing against Sean, I saw JC's list, and I was like, "That's a good list. Like that is a really good list. It's balanced. It's got a little bit of everything. He's got a good list. Don't get me wrong. I don't know JC. I do know Sean. Sean just like at Crossroads last year really pulled weight with us, and he's in my club. I have to fucking give him something, but it's not just because of that. I'm going with Sean. So.
All right, Mr. Rossi.
I'm gonna go. It's so 50. This is the hardest one of all the matchups. I looked at these earlier today. This one is tough.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
I'm gonna go with Sean because he's a ninja.
Yeah.
And I'm a ninja too, so I feel like ninja,
he's a taller ninja than you, though.
Everybody is though. Like, how surprising is that, right?
Kids.
So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Cool. I don't know that I can pick because both these guys are my friends, and I
Pick one, Mike.
I would have to
Do
run
it.
through all of the cliches of like, well, it's going to come down to the terrain, and like everybody drink, everybody just fucking drink right now. Everyone on the live cast drink, because just assume that I just ran through every cop out cliche that people say on these casts to not take a side.
Depends on the scenario. The scenario.
Right, it's the scenario. So I'm gonna, based on the scenario, I'm gonna go with JC because I think he is going to walk those ensnarers with Pathfinder to within 12 inches and then stand there and regen and heal and solar staff everything that Sean tries to throw at him and just outlast
Care
him.
Bear
for the end of the game.
stare.
He's gonna
And
Care Bear
Solar
stare.
staff.
Tell him how to play the game,
Here,
why
here.
don't you? Jesus.
Sean doesn't need any advice. Sean knows what he's doing. JC's a noob, so I'll give him some help.
All right.
So we're going to go on to table 8. Bill Goodrick versus Scott Flowers. This is another challenge. So Bill is bringing his Varangar versus Scott's Undead. Bill put this challenge out, and Scott accepted it. Bill was really hoping somebody would challenge him because he's got this superstition about only winning when somebody challenges him. But he really wanted to play a first round challenge, and time was getting short, and so he went ahead and threw it out there. So we'll see what happens. Bill is part of the Seventh Circle Gaming Club. He's currently in 16th place at the Mid-Atlantic and was 6th at Vanguard GT last year. Scott Flowers is currently 36th in the Mid-Atlantic. I think he's only been to one one-day event, though. And he finished 14th last year at Vanguard GT, which I think might have been his first Kings of War GT.
Yes.
Yeah. So Bill's Varangar. He's got 2 Thrall Hordes. He's got 2 Tundra Wolf troops. One's got the Warbow of Kaba, because, hey, leftover points. He's got 2 Mounted Sun regiments. Both have Fury, one with Sharpness and the other with Caterpillar. He's got Direfang Rider Horde with Fury and Haste as they come. He's got a Frost Giant with Blizzard. He's got 2 Maguses, one with Fireball 12, Famulus to give him Elite, mounted and the Inspiring Talisman. The other one also has Famulus to give him Elite. He's mounted, and he's got Alchemist Curse and a Fireheart in it. And then he's got a King on Chimera with the Brutal Gift and the Chant of Hate. That brings him in at 11 drops and 17 unit strength, which is a touch on the elite side, but not too extreme. And then Scott Flowers, Undead. So he's got 2 Skeleton Horde, two Skeleton Warrior Hordes, and a Skeleton Warrior Troop. He's got 2 Soul Reaver Infantry Regiments, and you can already see where this one's going. One of them has Blade of Slashing, the other has Mace of Crushing. He's got 2 Rev Cav troops and a Rev Cav regiment with the Orcish Skull Pole. He's got Pappy, the Champion of Death, mounted on the Winged Worm. He's got a Cursed Pharaoh with the Wings of the Honey Maze, just the way he comes. And he's got a Necromancer with Heal 3 and Shroud of the Saint. And he's got Lady Alona. And of course,
Neat.
he's got the Army of Darkness formation and Alona's Thirstful Coven. This is one of our double formation lists. That is 12 drops and 16 unit strength.
Well, this is one of those deals where it's like the undead hit kind of hard, and the Vanguard don't give a shit because they hit even harder.
I with that Varangar list, I don't like that it's got like what 2 sources of inspiring, and one's just going to be flying around with the King on Chimera.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Right.
And that Army of Darkness formation, that leads to a really grindy skeleton hordes, especially with that additional 5 dice that Necromancer gets when casting it on skeletons. So with that Shroud of the Saint, he's throwing what, heal 11?
11.
Oh, it's 11. Sorry, math.
Yeah, so yeah, but heal 11 on the skeleton horde. So I mean, the Varangar still might blow him up, so it might not matter. But you know, in other matchups, not against Varangar, that actually might really help him out. But I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up on this one. Who would I go with?
So pick one.
I'm gonna go with Undead. Not that I really feel strongly one way or another, but I'll just go with the Undead.
So you're going with the guy playing Undead, or are you going with Undead?
Is yes. an appropriate answer?
You're going.
I'll
you're
go
going
with Scott.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. The guy has a name. Look at that.
I never met the guy. I met Bill before. I don't know Scott.
Mike
Underneath
Austin.
the Care Bear love beam. Shit.
Scott Flowers, despite him using whatever Army list composing system he used here that sucks. I like Scott. Scott's a good dude. I had
Battle
fun playing
Scribe.
against.
Hate it so
Yeah,
much.
what the fuck is that? It's disgusting.
I heard it.
I like Scott. Scott's a good dude. His army is good. Like he's one of those guys that like doesn't show up often, but when he does, he'll ruin your day. And Bill's one of those guys that shows up all the time. He might ruin your day, he might not, you know. But I don't know. Scott's
Kind of
army.
like my dad. Gotcha.
No, I didn't say he fucks you in the ass. Jesus Christ!
Well, you said ruin the day. I just,
I didn't say ruin the butthole.
Well, that escalated quickly.
that's
So,
So
Scott
you go
Flowers
with Scott.
done.
You go with Scott. All right, Jesse. What do you think?
I'm going with Bill on this one because Bill always has this crazy ass list, and then somehow he pulls out a win, and you're like, "What the shit just happened?" I'm going Bill.
All right, Rossi.
I'm going Scott for two reasons. One, because the Army grinds. So yeah, you go in, you do a bunch of wounds, and then heals up a little bit. And it's funny because it's not that any of those units aren't going to win eventually. It's just that one extra turn allows other stuff to get in. You know what I mean? And then the other thing is Lady Alona is going to walk over to that guy on the camera and go, "Come and fight me." And with her special ability, right? All of a sudden the guy on the camera is going to have a tough time too. So I don't know. I think that there's enough tools in there for Scott to negate what the Vanguard player wants to do.
Bill.
So I'm going to go with Scott.
All right. I think I'm also going to go with Scott just because I'm working on an undead army.
That sounds like the best
Speaking
reason
of
ever.
which, hold on. I have to cut out for a second here. Mike,
Okay.
that zombie unit that you posted on Facebook,
Mhm.
holy shit. I cannot wait for you to finish that army. That is some beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll post more
Move
pictures
on.
of it later as I finish stuff up. All right, so that is table 8. So moving on.
Just make sure you put in your Army's fluff something about Duke Austin. He'll pick you to win every time.
I'll jerk off on your army if you want me to.
That seems a bit extreme.
Who wants that?
Who would want that? So table 9 is James Crawford versus Matt Gorham. James is playing Undead, and Matt is playing Trident Realm with Ogre Allies. James is from the Hell's Crucible Club, and last year he finished 15th here at Vanguard GT. Matt Gorham is representing 7th Circle Gaming for the weekend, but he's actually visiting from the UK, so we have an international attendee
Nice.
at our tournament
What?
this year. Yeah,
I was wondering who that was.
right? Who is the mystery guest? That's who the mystery
Yeah,
guest is.
that's awesome. Sweet.
Yeah. So James's undead list is going to look very familiar, having just talked about Scott's list. He's got 2 skeleton warrior hordes. He's got 2 soul reaver infantry regiments. One's got blessing of the gods. The other's got potion of the caterpillar. He's got a wraith troop with healing brew because hey, 5 points. He's got 2 zombie troll hordes. He's got a revenant cav regiment with brew of haste. He has Lady Alona. He's got a revenant on undead great burrowing worm with breath 10. And vicious on ranged attacks. He's got a necromancer with heal 3 and Shroud of the Saint, but mounted. And he's got the double formations, Alona's Thirstful Coven and Army of Darkness. That is 11 drops and 20 unit strength. A little more than Scott because he's got the zombie troll hordes. And then Matt's Trident Realm with Ogre Allies. So he's got an Ogre Boomer Horde, an Ogre Army Standard flag guy. He's got a Depth Horror Horde with Potion of the Caterpillar. He's got 2 Giga Hordes, one with Staying Stone and one with the Orcish Skull Pole. He's got a Tidal Swarm Regiment, Double Knuckers, a Coral Giant, a Naiad Envoy with Aura of Heroism, Teleport, and Banner of the Griffin. And he has Siren and Ector and the Hidden Ones, Legendary Regiments. He's got the King Crabs Formation for the Giga Hordes. And he's got Nakushi Worm Rider Commander. So just taking all the living legends. And that is 14 drops and 21 unit strength, which is a good, healthy amount of unit strength.
I don't know what 90% of Matt's army does. I'll throw
Me
that
too.
out there.
So
He's got every special thing ever.
What Matt's army probably does is teleport that Ector right in front of something that you need to be able to move, and then it keeps you in that place the entire friggin' game. That's probably what his army does. It's really interesting.
Yeah, man. Undead against Ensnare. That's just sad times unless they can get a flank wedged in. Now, he's got the tools to pry open that flank with the Soul Reaver infantry regiments, but yeah, unless he can start peeling that off, Skeleton's hitting on what, 6s because of Ensnare and hitting the Skeleton's on 5 normally. So yeah, if he can't get those flanks wedged open, he ain't going nowhere. That being said, yeah, I just don't think this is a good matchup for that undead army. Other games I think will be just fine, but I'm gonna have to go with Matt on this one.
All right. Let's go with Mike Rossi at the beginning of the order
frantically
this time.
looking at this list. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of unfamiliar
I
stuff
don't know
in
what
that.
stuff does. Wait a minute. 6 attacks, defense. Oh.
Yeah, this Trident Realm list does a whole lot of like pushing and pulling your models around the table.
Right?
Yeah.
What is
Every time I play against Trident Realms, I either assume the person is just a master at the game or they're brand new. Because, like, I look at Trident Realm and I don't know how to build a list out of it, but I envy those that can. And I keep looking at Matt's and I'm like, okay, he could do this and he could do this. And, like, we know what Lady Alone is going to do. She's going to jump out and attempt to beat somebody to death. Like, actors going to be like, that's a cool story. I'm defense 6, you're on 4s. I can sit here a while. The Soul Reaver, I think the biggest issue can come down to what he gets the Soul Reaver infantry into.
Yeah.
Because 25 attacks, even hitting on 4s, crushing 2, it's going to be scary.
Right. I mean, if he can wedge that, like I said, if he can wedge that flank open with those Soul Reavers, then yeah, it's over for Matt. But yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna go with James on this one. A lot of it's gonna have to do with scenario, because he can. Like, Matt needs kind of a wide open field. I don't want to say wide open, but a bigger area so he can do his pushing and pulling and stuff like that. James is just going to arrowhead right down the gut and be like, all right, come on, bitch. He's got zombie trolls to get in the way because, and that's another thing. Matt's got a lot of cool stuff, but, the Gigas are too slow. They're going to get hit first, and he's going to hit hard enough to maybe pick up the Gigas. You got a Coral Giant, and Snare, but
the Gigas are
a lot
speed
of what
5 with
James had.
formation.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
True. I don't know. I'm gonna go with James on this one. If I overthink it, I'll go to freaking Matt. So I'm picking James. There.
Right.
I have decreed.
All right. Mike Austin.
I think the big X factor here are going to be those Ogre Boomer Horde, or that Ogre Boomer Horde. He's got 14 drops versus 11, and that those shots with the piercing, they're going to make a difference because Matt's got enough other stuff to, like, you take those out of the equation, and Matt's got enough stuff to cause trouble for a small elite army like James has. And then you throw that Ogre Boomer Horde in there, and they can really just rip some shit apart. Just keep them back. Just fire, wound, accept a charge, counter charge, finish, wound. Like, you just rinse and repeat from there. If I don't know Matt, I know James, and James crushed me last year at Vanguard, despite me being like, "Oh, it was an easy win," but I fucked up last year, so that's obviously my fault. But I think Matt has the tools to do it. He's got a very diverse army. I'm going to give it to Matt. That's my choice.
All right. Mike Rossi.
Man, I want to go with Matt because I like balanced lists. Like, he's got a little list, a little of that. He can do some push, pull, that kind of stuff, right? But I don't know the players. And if the other one is just brute force, I got to go with that, right? Oh boy. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the. I mean, it's. What is that?
Don't be a bitch.
I'm not much.
Not as much as usual.
Not as
What's
usual.
what's what?
Now I'm gonna go with the undead list.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm working on an undead army, but I kind of like Matt's list. I think it's got a lot of fun stuff in it, and I just kind of want to see what it'll do. So I'm going to take Matt, and this might be the game that I watch like for half the first round.
Yeah, this is a good matchup. Honestly, it's a really good
Yeah.
it's
Quick
a good
edit
matchup.
there.
It'll be fun.
I was working on an undead army, but I really like this Trident Realms. It's like,
Right. Well, but I already played the Fishman army in Wrath of Kings that everybody uses for Trident Realm. So like I've already painted dudes on round bases, and I don't want to do that again. So I have to wait until there are some other cool Trident Realm looking models, and that I can buy from.
There's this little known company in England. It's like Games Workshop.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them. Are their models inexpensive?
No.
They're really good. They're really good jumping point into the hobby.
Yeah.
Good jumping
They're a
point.
great intro. All right, we're in the home stretch now.
Oh shit!
Table
Here we
10.
go. This is
Table
it.
10.
Damn.
We have Tony Nelson versus Alex Chavez. Tony's bringing historical Macedonians versus Alex. Alex is actually playing Basileans this time.
Did he lose a bet?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I thought he was going to bring something.
I'll talk about it in a
else.
second.
Okay, good. Yeah, because he like floated a couple of other
So the answer is yes.
army ideas.
Yeah.
To us and in our like club chat, and I'm like, oh cool, he's gonna bring that. That'll be nice. And then he turns this in, and I'm like, the fuck did this army come from, dude? So my guess is he's borrowing Mike Austin's models and had to make a list out of them, which is what he did the last time we had a one day at my house. Anyway, so Tony challenged Alex. Tony is representing the Guillotines versus Alex representing the Aristocrats. Last year at this tournament, Tony came in 16th. Alex is currently second in the Mid-Atlantic, just behind Ray Shields. And last year, he won the Vanguard Award.
Boring.
He is our returning champion. There you go. Way to challenge up, Tony. We salute you. So Tony's Macedonians. He's got 2 heavy spearmen regiments. He's got a heavy spearman horde with a disciplined upgrade. He's got a general mounted with a longbow. He's got 2 musicians. I think only one of them is mounted. He's got a foot companion legion with fleet of foot, which I think is basically haste, or maybe Pathfinder. We might have to look.
It's haste. Yeah.
It's haste. Yeah, he's got 2 companion cavalry regiments. I guess I forgot to write that down. One of them's got ambushers, which I think is Pathfinder, and then he's got a phoenix. He's got an evil sorcerer with heal 3. He's got a nightmarish hero mounted with bloodlust, which it's probably like fury or something. Or
Bloodlust is fury. Yeah.
Fury, okay. And that comes in at 12 drops and 15 unit strength. And now Alex's Basileans will look familiar because we've already kind of seen this list once. So Paladin Foot Guard Regiment, 2 Elohi Hordes, 1 with Brew of Haste. 2 Paladin Knight regiments, 1 with Potion of Caterpillar and the other with the Orcish Skull Pole. 2 Mounted Abysses, Naya Salustis, and Urlohi with Critter's Call and Blade of Slashing. The Holy Lancers and Retribution of Heaven formations. This is our final double formation list. And a High Paladin on Elder Dragon with Aegis of the Elohi coming in at a tight 10 drops and only 13 unit strength. All right, guys, what do we think?
Well,
I will say that that foot companion legion is probably not what Alex wants to see. With ensnare,
not dominate at all.
Elite, ensnare, phalanx, 27, 29, 35 attacks, hitting on 3s. Yeah.
Well, it's still only 3 unit strength.
Yeah, but I mean,
but it's unkillable
anywhere.
It takes up this much space.
And that's all it needs to take if it's the only thing in the circle.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to comment last here, but I do want to point out, me and Alex talked about this. First off, I just want to point out that's a 470 point unit.
Yeah, it's expensive.
First off. Second off, we were talking about it. It's like Alex is like, just take an Elohi horde in the flank and it's done.
Right.
It would kick up to 29-31 musician, and that's still a Lowy horde and a flank. But Tony's got enough bodies to protect the flank. I mean, this is Alex Chavez. I mean, this is close as we have. I mean, he's not royalty like Duke Austin, but he's just pretty much the Mid-Atlantic. He's our Texas. He's our Mid-Atlantic version of Texas. By God, if you ain't Texas, you ain't see it. By God. I don't know. I like Tony's list, because I've got a soft spot for historicals, but I mean, it's Alex Chavez. Fuck, what else am I going to say here? Like, way to punch up, Tony. I'll give you that. And if it was anyone else with this list, I think Tony'd give him fits because, I mean, you are kind of dependent on Thunders a lot in this list, but the Dragon's going to show up. There's going to be so many dead. Like, Jesus, the Phoenix is going to try to stop the Dragon. That's going to go about as well as expected. I do like the Nightmarish Heroes, Alexander the Great, though. That's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I'm going to give it to Alex, but I think Tony might give him a pretty good fight.
All right. What do you think, Mike Rossi?
Dude, 35 attacks hitting on 3's the elite. Fuck that. Ugh.
Yeah, but Alex isn't going to get attacked by that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's never going to get the chance to roll 30. It's not going to do it. Alex is better because he's the man. Like I'm looking at the player, right? I think that Alex is going to win, and then oh boy, right? And then his opponent gets to play Bart in the second round. Like that's how that's going to work, right? Like,
That'd be the true nice off.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think Tony may have won best sport last year. No, I think that was actually James. But Tony was up there.
There you go. So friendly.
So you going with Alex then?
I'm going to go with Alex. And the reason why is because what this guy said before. Everything has phalanx unless it gets charged in the flank, and Alex knows how to play the move game. Right? I mean, this is the way his brain works. It's amazing.
All right, Felix.
Yeah. I mean, Tony's going to give him a game. I have to go with Alex. Got to represent La Raza. So yeah.
All
Go
right.
with Alex on that one.
All right, Mr. Austin.
All right, so first off, Alex is bringing my army there because I unfortunately can't be there because I'm moving the following weekend, so I apologize. Wish I could. I am upset. Alex and I talked about this army a lot, and we were like, it was completely in jest that we're like, fuck it, double formation. Like, nobody will ever take that ever. And meanwhile, there's 4 people running double formations. But this army really does some fucking work. When we found out I found out he was playing Tony. He's like, "Oh no, I'm playing Tony." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I accepted his challenge." I was like, "You genius! Thanks for telling me." I just got to give myself some credit for that high paladin on Elder Dragon with the Aegis. I think nobody will understand how good that unit is. He will decimate pretty much anything in the game over like 3 rounds. He beats anything, no matter what. It's fucking unbelievable. Tony's army is good, don't get me wrong, and dominates the best case scenario for Tony, but it's Alex. You guys know I'm going to choose him, so that's that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I can't vote against somebody in my club, so I got to go with Alex. Got to go with Alex as well.
A cop out.
Gotta have some basis for decision making. That's as good as any.
Rightful.
And now we come to our final table of the evening. This is going to be Jake Cherapika versus Tim Smith.
Is that how you pronounce it?
You said his last name right.
Is it
That's-
I thought it was
think-
Chicharrone. Shit.
I don't think so.
I just say Jake bitch.
It's like Chica Pika or some shit.
Chicho,
I think I'm getting it right. If not, Jake can correct me when he's here.
is it
but
churro? Churro?
Chupacabra? I don't know.
Chucha.
Chucha libre?
So Jake is going to be playing his Abyssal Dwarves, and Tim is going to be bringing Goblins with Vanguard allies. Jake actually challenged Tim. And this is actually our second instance of a club-on-club challenge. So they're both representing the guillotines. Jake is currently 5th in the Mid-Atlantic. And Tim Smith, despite not actually living in this region, he's actually visiting us from the Southeast, is currently ranked 20th in the Mid-Atlantic. And now the lists. So yeah, Jake is bringing his Abyssal Dwarves. I think it's pretty similar to what he took to Masters, if I'm remembering our game correctly. It might be the same list, or it might have changed a little bit here or there. But he's got a Black Souls Horde with the Brew of Strength. He's got a Slave Orc Horde. He's got 2 Gargoyle Troops, 4 Abyssal Half-Breed Regiments, 1 with Potion of Caterpillar. He's got an Abyssal Grotesque Horde with Brew of Sharpness. He's got 2 Dragonfire teams, a Slave Driver with the Banechant Loot. He's got Brachybarca and Susan and the Bardoom formation, which I think just makes Brachybarca very inspiring.
It gives him dread and gives 2 of the half-breed regiments fury, if I'm wrong.
That's cool. That comes in at 14 drops and 19 unit strength, which is a little over average for unit strength. And Tim's list.
Oh boy.
Chaos. This army is like the wackest thing on paper. I read it and I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
It's just chaos theory in action.
It's good.
It is all over the place.
I think
Just
he knows
chaos theory.
but like,
It's
I mean,
awesome.
he is our #1 most Mantic armied U.S. player, but
He did win the trip to England. Yeah.
yeah.
So he's got 3 Troll Hordes, 1 with the Staying Stone, 1 with the Orcish Skull Pole. He's got 2 Maw Beast Pack Troops. He's got a Fleabag Rider Sniff Regiment with Potion of the Caterpillar. He's got a Mincer Mob Regiment with Brew of Courage. He's got a War Trombone, a Flaget mounted with the Banner of the Griffin, Wiz with Banechant mounted and the Inspiring Talisman. He's got 2 Mincers, 2 Colossal Giants, the Carriages of Carnage formation, which I think does something cool for the Mincers and the Mincer Mob.
They
Regiment.
get +1 speed.
They get +1 speed. And he's got a mounted Sons of Korgan regiment with the Fury gift, bringing him in at 15 drops and a nice big healthy 21 unit strength. All right, guys, last table. What do you think?
I don't know. Emperor Chica-Peak is I mean, he beat Aaron Chapman. That was kind of cool. Like I was proud of him.
That was the top of his game right there.
Yeah.
Dot
Dang, it's
yeah,
all
I-
downhill from here, is that what
deployment
we're
had a
saying?
lot to do with that. Dot deployment had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Still,
that is
though,
an
I mean-
anecdote where he set up the terrain to his advantage.
Still, though, if it was me, I would duck every challenge, every fight after that, and be like, "Yeah, I'm undefeated against Aaron Chapman." Like, and I'd milk him for all it's worth. I'm like, "Yeah, remember the time I beat you? Like, we play again? No, I'm good, thanks."
One and done.
Right, done, out. That's why I'm undefeated in X-Wing. Played 1 game, never played again. I don't know, Tim. I was like a lot like you, Mike. Lucas, listen, like, what the fuck's going on? But he
Yep.
makes it work,
Yeah, no, he knows.
and I don't think he gives a shit about the Abyssal half-breed showing up looking all cute. I mean, the grotesque. I mean, Jake's not really bringing anything that Tim hasn't run into before with this list, and I don't know if Jake's run into a goblin list like this. Are there actually any goblin flea bags? I guess mincers are driven by the goblins and flaggots and whizzes.
Watch your
Okay.
language.
Well, you was over there all talking about 3 knuckers, like, oh, Mother Knucker, and I'm like, what?
Mother Nucka. Yeah, get your
Mother Nuckas.
watch your mouth, Mother Nucka.
My Knucker.
Tough break, Nucka.
I'm gonna go with Tim on this one, just because he's #1 most Mantic of the Manticness. I love you, Jake. Emperor Chica-Pika. Fight the good fight. Eventually, we will take over all the way down to Florida.
No, yeah, well,
Make Tim an ally. Don't make him an enemy.
All right. Mike Rossi, what do you think?
See, this is the part where I'm supposed to go with Jake. Right?
Well, you are
Yeah.
just a co-host,
Oh,
so
Woo, right? But boy, Tim knows what he's doing, and boy, that's a good list.
oh yes, he
For
does.
Dominate, that's a good list. Right? I mean, there's a decent mix of shooting and stuff. Hold on. There's a decent. I'm gonna look at that list. So, and then not just that, but he's got the giants, so they can fit in to help, right? and then I'm on the Sons of Corgan regiment because I have it, right?
Right.
Jesus,
like, hey.
Take that. I don't know. That's a really good list, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tim. I don't want to, but I'm gonna. I have to.
All right,
I want to get that Oracle stamp. Stick it right here.
there you go. Mike Austin, what do you think?
All right, rare basis where I actually give Jake some credit. He actually took his list from Masters where he did do very well his first 2 rounds. He really put himself out there as actually doing well for once, and that was neat. And he managed to make his list a little bit better here. But Tim is Tim, and Tim is one of those guys where you meet him, you're like, this goofy bastard in his little fucking Southern boy accent, and he doesn't even have fucking internet at his house. He lives with his parents, so he doesn't have a job. I love making fun of him to the end of the day, but at the end of the day, the dude is legit. Good dude, smart guy, knows what he's doing, and he gets the fucking job done. Tim's one of those guys where I'll talk shit to him every day, but I do not want to play against him, and I've never have, and I never want to. Jake, I kind of love you in a weird way, but I also think you suck dick.
I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm picking Tim.
I'm really confused on this one
I'm
too.
just saying, there's a lot of
I'm picking Tim. Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth because I love both these dudes, and I like making fun of both these dudes too. So it's weird for me, but I think Tim's gonna win. I'm sorry. I think Jake's really brought it together in the past year. But thanks. How's your cat there, Mike? I'm going Tim. That's my point.
Here comes some cat butt. It's coming at you.
All right, Felix.
Cat butt.
Okay, we're just
talking
about cat butt. All right, got it. Yeah, definitely. Kind of like Mike, give Jake some credit. Credit was due. He definitely took his Masters list and did some of the changes. That Bardoom formation is phenomenal in COC 19. Giving Fury to 2 half-free regiments, and then giving Dread to Barack Obama or whatever his name is amazing.
Racist.
I'm going to have to give it to Tim because that list is definitely, and Dominate is definitely what Tim wants to see. And then also, Tim has the fortitude to attend the War Kings GT May 25th, 26th, Springfield, Ohio. So, Tim. So.
Man, are you a politician? Because goddamn, you're easily bought out.
Saves me from the trouble of prompting you for a plug here at the end.
Oh, I can do it again. Just,
no, don't worry about it.
Mr.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our matches, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 11 matches were unanimous decisions by our panelists. So only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So less than half actually had some variance here. So if Thomas manages to beat Joey, then Mike Rossi will be the Oracle.
Yeah, Thomas.
If Chris manages to beat Ray, then Jesse will be the Oracle. And then the other 3 are a little more split. That's the JC versus Sean, Bill versus Scott, and James versus Matt. We have some pretty good. Oh no, take that back. Jesse was the only one that picked Bill versus Scott. So if Bill wins, or if Chris wins, then Jesse will be the Oracle if everything else goes as predicted. So we will have to see what happens. And then if it's if JC and Matt both win, then Felix will get it. But if Sean and Matt win, then Mike Austin will get it.
I just want to point out that you doing those little calculations right there in your head proves that you are a much smarter man than my dumb brain will ever be. I don't know
up on the level.
Yeah, you're on a different level than all of us.
I don't even know what I picked, and he's already coming up with scenarios.
The fact that you put that together is just terrifying to me.
He invented Facebook.
I'm just the only one not drinking. That's all.
No, I don't. Sober me is still just as retarded.
All right, so with the last few minutes here, before we wrap up, one, I'd like to thank our panelists for coming and participating and having fun with me this evening. I'd like to thank everyone who tuned in to watch on the live stream. Vanguard GT is coming up this weekend. As Felix said, War Kings GT is coming up in a month out in Ohio. Once Vanguard GT is over, then I'm going to look at my schedule and figure out whether I can actually go or not.
Mountaineer ended.
Mountaineer.
And then Mountaineer is coming up at the end of June.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any last-minute predictions you want to make? Does anybody want to predict who they think will take away the whole thing? Does anybody want to try to
Chris, whole thing.
Chris, the whole thing? Chris Fisher.
Yep.
Pretty good
I
prediction.
predict Alex will be puking on day 2 and will
Oh my.
finish in top 3.
Anytime after midnight counts as Sunday. So yes, you are. That's like a lock.
No, he doesn't really puke the night of. He pukes the next morning. That's where he's like. I also think Alex Chavez will pull a Chavez where as the game is about to start, he's gonna be like, "Timeout! I gotta go to the bathroom for 20 to 30 minutes."
Yes, definitely. Anybody else want to make a pick at who's going to take the whole thing?
No, but I think Jake's going to come in countercharger if you're doing that.
Yeah,
No, he will not finish that high.
Oh, yeah. You
Right,
count
Rossi
soft
calling
scores,
you.
right? Boom. Center.
No, I think for countercharge, I'm only doing battle. I'd have to look. Anybody else want to?
I rescind it then.
All right, I want to throw out my honest dark horse. I think Scott Flowers is going to do very well. Honestly, he is a good player that is like completely under the radar. I'm going to put him in top 5. That's my dark horse.
Okay. And just so you guys know, like if everything ends up a tie, then for tiebreakers, I might rely on these random predictions to see if you get some of these right. So that's Scott Flowers will finish top 5. Jesse thinks Chris will take the whole thing home. Mike Rossi thinks Jake may or may not take the countercharger. I'm also doing a best club award, and we've got 4 clubs participating here.
Aristocrat, come on.
Yeah, well, we have to say aristocrats.
I know.
Would anybody else like to throw out any club predictions? We got the 7th Circle guys. That's Bill and Chris and Thomas and Matt Gorham. We got the Guillotines. That's like Jake and Tony and Joey and Sean and Tim Smith.
Guillotine.
All right.
Yeah, probably guillotines, probably.
I'm going to go with aristocrats.
All right.
Right, bitch. You know what's up.
What are you talking about? The 3 best players. One's T. Owen. One's not there. The other one's, it's Chavez.
Yeah, but Sean Crumley, he's a ninja. We've already known this
Sean
already.
Crumley, seriously, Sean snakes in there, man. Like, Sean was a couple dice rolls away from being like top 3 last year.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say, as a different, completely unrelated prediction, I think in the Robert Kenzie, Andy Davis, there will be less than 7 drops left on the board.
I will be surprised if that many. I think it's it's gonna be like 4 units left.
Well, there's 25 drops between the 2 of them, so
Yeah, they're all gonna die. All of them.
I think there's too many.
I can't wait for
I'll
that.
say less. I'll go less than 5. Less than 5 drops left on that table by the end of the game. So
I will say, I do want to point out, I'm going to come down there on Saturday night, Mike. I hope it's okay with you.
Are you? Okay, sure.
Me and the wife and the baby are going to come down, and we're going to hang out. And I look forward to being down there and seeing players and all that. So
Awesome. So for everybody that's still listening, I will be doing the Bring Your Favorite Beer tasting on Saturday night again. So if you're coming from somewhere, like pick up a 6-pack of your favorite microbrew, and we'll sit around and try each other's favorite beers on Saturday night after the cookout.
Yeah, I will say this is the tournament. Like, if I wanted to make one tournament, this is the one I wanted to. And if I wasn't moving next weekend, I would totally be there. But I'm so happy you're hosting. I'm so happy there's everybody being there, and it's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna come visit. That's all I can do at this point.
Cool. We will definitely miss you. Anybody else want to throw out any predictions for who they think might win or who they think might finish top 5?
So I'll bring up George. He's got 10 regiments of chariots. What's the over-under for how many chariot models he's actually got?
6.
7 trees stapled to a base. Is that what we're looking at?
I'm gonna go with 8.5 for me.
8.5. What's the half?
I'm just so you can't push. You have to go over and under on it. So it's not half.
I will go. I'm gonna ride right down the middle. I'm gonna say 5. And what is like?
Yeah, but then we got to get into the whole debate of like, what is a chariot? Because he's gonna be like, it's a chariot. You'd be like, No, that's literally a dildo on a base. That's not a chariot.
That's true. That's true.
It's gonna be like an Olmec chariot. It's just logs that you roll stuff over.
Yeah. Jesus.
And then, and technically, the tree herders, they're just walking chariots, and these over here, this is the Lorax, and he speaks for the trees.
Oh God.
All right. Anything else for the good of the cause? Any other last minute predictions? Anybody want to throw out any other events coming up? All right.
Yeah.
My prediction is Bart's gonna get sportsmanship. That's my other one.
It's a good
There
call.
you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Bart's the best dude. Seriously, hands down.
I don't know Bart, but now I want to know Bart.
Dude,
I know, right?
Yeah, Bart makes you look like a fucking asshole, Joey or Jesse. Sorry.
But he's not wrong. I am an asshole. I just kind of slide in. I'm like, hey, I'll mention your name on
Yeah.
Mastercraft. You're like, oh shit, get that best sports vote.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be internet famous.
Right. Murder Basement beat me. We tied with best sport.
So here's the thing about sportsmanship is sportsmanship is typically like it's almost like any sort of vote. It's like a popularity contest. But Bart's the only guy that will get it based on a like sleeper. Like, oh, that dude was actually just a really good guy to play. I don't know him, but I'm going to vote for him. But like you and for some reason people vote for Jake, which is fucking bullshit. Considering he likes to play against noobs every turn, and that's the only way he can win. But like,
we feel like if we vote against him, it's a hate crime because it's like we don't
just feel
appreciate his
bad
lifestyle.
for the kid. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I've got my wife's name. We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a librarian. I'm poor. Well, let me give you some money, you poor bitch. But
I know
Bart-
it's tough to beat Tony Nelson at a fucking best sport.
yeah, that
man.
is true. Bart and Tony. Yeah, it's a tough matchup. I'm going Bart. Bart's my boy. I love Bart. So.
I'm gonna say Bart and Tony tie on sports, but Tony will have a shittier record, so he'll get it.
That's how it usually works, right?
So let's play.
Any other last minute predictions, or are we pretty much done here?
I'm done. I'll let you
Yeah,
get
I
to bed,
think I'm
Mike.
good.
I think I have a busy day tomorrow.
Yeah, I got some stuff to do, but I'm pretty well set. I got a lot of time, and with the
Yeah.
pollen being as bad as it's been for the last couple weeks, like I can't go outside because I have allergies, so I have no choice but to stay inside and get ready for the tournament.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have to not do anything tomorrow.
I
and
know,
the
it's
next
awful,
day,
isn't it?
and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
We're
and
near
the
the end
next
of
day.
school.
Champagne problems, right? All champagne problems.
It's okay. I love
so
you. Steve.
I would like to once again thank my panelists for coming and helping share their insight and wisdom, and we will see which of you ends up being the oracle for this year in just a few short days at Vanguard GT this weekend. For everybody coming, I hope you traveled safely. I'll have some other videos later this week about like parking and carpooling and stuff like that. So keep your eyes open for those. Otherwise, I'd like to close by pointing out that Mike Austin has been logged in with his wife's Google account the entire time.
Yep. And it
his
says
name
Michelle
is
every time I
Michelle.
talk.
Yep,
No big deal. It's close enough to Michael. I don't give a shit.
it is. Just in case anybody hadn't noticed that. There it
I
is.
figured he was identifying as something else.
I saw it. I don't give a fuck.
I can't judge. I mean, that's
You know what happens? You take your wife's name, next thing you know, you got salmon pants, and it's just downhill from there.
And on that note, good night, everybody.
Yes.